I'm taking the horse and sending the horse forward into the cow space. The cow is pinning his ears, or the horse is pinning his ears to claim that space. I have two horses in training that look very similar, Athena and Maggie. Maggie is the one that was rescued from kill pen. This one is Athena. Athena is a young horse that was recently started under saddle. She was started by somebody else, and they seem to have done a pretty good job getting her started as far as she don't want to buck, and she's got some basic steering. The issue that I've been having with her is she's a very forward-thinking horse. I think that's natural to her to be forward-thinking. I don't think that's anything they did when they started her. But one of the things I've had to spend a lot of time doing is try to get her thinking about going slower and thinking about steering. You'll see with her, when she thinks about, when I get her straight, she tends to kind of get stiff and walk forward and kind of gets locked on going forward. When she does that, she tends to just get heavier and heavier on her front end and walk faster and faster. Has a lot to do with the balance that I've talked about with the shoulders. She needs her shoulders up, and when she gets straight, her shoulders tend to fall. When I get her bit, walk a circle, I get her shoulders back up. So I've been doing a lot of work with that, walking circles and relaxing. She's a nervous horse. She needs to just relax and walk. And she needs to walk with her body in a correct position. Let's go back to the right. Walk and relax. That horse there is eating his breakfast. She already had her breakfast, but she thinks she should have some more. Pay a lot of attention to her ears. Ears are always the window to tell you what your horse is thinking. Her ears are going to flick around on whatever she's thinking about. Now what I'm going to start doing is we're going to go over here to this fence, and we're going to start doing some turns into the fence to start working on more of an engaged hip in our turn. And walk forward. When I started this, she was pushing her nose up above the fence and just pushing her shoulder forward and not really turning. Now that I've got her face a little softer from walking all the circles, I'm getting a better turn. That was better not against the fence. That's what she was doing a lot of before. Getting her nose up, wanting to push forward. I need that relaxed turn. We're going that way. Let's turn back to the right. Much better. Much better. She engaged her back end. Her weight, her back end took her weight so that her front end could step around. I haven't done any videos of her other than the first video just because this work right here is kind of slow and it's boring, but it's really important. She has to use her body correctly. I'm putting her in a position, there we go, so that she can use her body correctly. That was kind of the pushing forward that she has a tendency to do. Now let's start putting some lag on her, and let's see if we can get her to move laterally without pushing forward. There we go, left leg. Get her thinking about left and right leg. There we go. In the beginning, she was just, when I put lag on, she was just shoving forward. I didn't have any lateral movement. There we go. This seems basic and simple, and it is basic and simple, but for her, it has taken me a long time to get this. And that kind of brings up the subject that I wanted to talk about. Is I get a lot of questions regarding time. How long did it take me to get a certain thing accomplished? How long did it take for a horse to learn to do a certain thing? And my response is, it takes as long as it takes. It's taken her longer to learn this than what it typically does, but she is learning it. She is getting it. And the only time that matters is the time that's in her head. Some horses take a little longer than others. She's taken longer for this, but the thing about it, if I would have ignored getting her soft and stepping around without pushing through, that would have come back later, and I would have had to fix it, and it would have taken a lot longer then. Even though it's taken me like 2 weeks to do it now, it probably would have taken me 2 months if I had skipped it. Training a horse is steps. One step always builds off another step. You have to know where you're going. It's kind of a theme of the videos that I've done today. You have to know where you're going to know how to get there. This is going to be a cow horse of some sort. She's going to work cows as a career. I'm thinking maybe like stock horse, that kind of thing. We're going to see how she comes along. And to get to that trained cow horse, there were certain steps that she has to do. You can't skip those steps. And that's what I've been working on with her. A little bit of left leg. There we go. See what we got for stop. Whoa. Good girl. And let's try some back up. Now see, as I'm backing up, see her hip coming around to the right? That's a sign of the heavy on the shoulder. So what I'm going to do is lighten the shoulder and back up again. Good girl. See, once I lightened the shoulder by stepping sideways, we backed up straighter. Good girl. Step around to the right. There we go. Good girl. Around to the right. There we go. Good girl. So now that I got some of these basics on her, let's get a cow out here and let's track a cow around a little bit. The cow typically pulls forward out of a horse with the slow cow, or with a slow horse. If I have a slow horse that don't want to move forward, the cow will typically pull that forward out. The other side of that is, if I get a slow cow out here and the horse locks on the cow, a good horse will rate back to that slow cow and will actually slow the horse down. And that's what I'm hoping that I get here. I'd like to get that big black one right there on my left because I know she's slow. Let's see if she'll come out. There we go. That's the one I wanted. Now we got to shut the gate back. Turn to the left. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. All right. Let's go follow this cow. Really not going to ask much of her other than follow the cow and listen to me as far as how fast. You notice I'm going to be soft with my hands, soft on her face. I'll point her at the cow, and I'm going to give her the slack. See her pinning her ears? She's telling the cow to move. I'm taking the horse and sending the horse forward into the cow space. The cow is pinning his ears, or the horse is pinning his ears to claim that space. That's a real important lesson to learn. The horse has to claim the cow space. You want that by ears pinned, you want that by expression. You don't want it by biting. Claim the space. Listen to me. There we go. Cow trotted. She started to trot with the cow, and I just made contact with her mouth. Told her, no, we're not going to trot. Got distracted by that horse. Go back to the cow. This cow is helping to regulate her speed in it without me pulling on her face. I intentionally got a cow that I knew was going to be slow because I don't want the horse to go faster. I want this horse to go slower. She already has enough go. What we're learning here is rate. Probably the most important lesson a horse can learn with a cow is rate. Rate the cow's speed. When you show cow horse, that is one of the parts that you're judged on. There is a box just for rate. That's what we're doing here. So you're turning with the cow. She got distracted by the camera over there. Little pile of hay. I'm just going to point her back to the cow. Refocus her attention. Put my hand back down again. Training with this horse, I had to be very, very patient. It'd be very easy to get into a fight with this horse. It's not going to be productive. Horse isn't going to learn anything. And I'm just going to get frustrated by fighting. I have to use the tools at my disposal, being the cow, to help teach the horse. I've had to take my time getting her to soften. We got pin in her ears. Now, if she bites at the cow, I'm going to pull her head away. I've done a video about rules. There's basically 3 rules to this. She needs to follow the cow. She needs to follow the cow at the speed I tell her to follow the cow. She has to stop when I tell her to stop, and she can't bite. But now I want to stop while this is still fun. I don't want her to get tired or frustrated or bored with that cow or with the exercise. Whoa. So I'm going to go ahead and stop with her on the cow, and I'm going to stop with her for today. That was a good exercise for her today. It was slowing her mind down. This is a very busy-minded horse. See, she's already thought about something else. Very busy-minded horse. And in her training, I have to slow that mind down, and that's what I've been doing with her. When she first came in, and after I put the first couple rides on her, I wasn't very optimistic about this horse because it was taking so long for things to come. But now that we have made some progress, and I've got a couple of weeks on her now, and I see better about how she learns, I'm a lot more optimistic about this horse. I think this is going to end up being a nice horse. This is Athena. I'll put a link to the first video that I did of her. And until next time, thank you for watching.